Hi y'all, I'm Zizi.
And I'm Bui.
And welcome back to Not Really A Podcast, where we have conversations about anything and everything. So guys, today we have a nice episode for you all. So it was my turn to prepare because we've been trying out, obviously we're experimenting with the podcast. So far how we do it is more like I come up with an idea, she comes up with an idea, and then we just try to feed off of each other in that way. And yeah, so my topic for today, I thought about it. It came to me last night, right? And I was just really thinking about it, what would be a nice topic to talk about? And I figured, why not talk about fear? The dreaded word, the big word, fear. So, from fear of the typical fears, your fear of mhlampe love and marriage, your fears about maybe your career, and fears about starting something new, just all fears in every sense of the word fears, the fear of failure specifically. I think I want us to really dig deep in a fear of failure specifically, because I think as entrepreneurs we always say this, entrepreneurship, in my head, entrepreneurship is the one cornerstone that we can use as the youth of South Africa to get ourselves out of this mess.
Yeah.
So I think one of the biggest hurdles in entrepreneurship is the fear of failure for a lot of people. And so I do want us to go a bit deep on that specific type of fear. And then, but just to, keep the episode not too serious too quickly, I have a kind of an icebreaker that we're going to do. It's a prompt. I'm going to ask you a question and then you have to answer it. And then that's going to be a little icebreaker. And then after that, we will talk about our fears on love and marriage. Specifically because personally, I am a fan of Umjolo, so I always try to figure Umjolo somehow.
She does.
Yeah, I'm such a fan of love and stuff, and I really believe that relationships like that are also another cornerstone to getting where we need to be. So I want us to keep on having these conversations to push the narrative of love and the narrative of entrepreneurship. So I want us to speak on fear based off those two kind of spheres of life. Okay, so for the icebreaker, I'm asking you the question and you have 10 seconds to answer, and then you have to tell us why. It's you'll hear the question.
10 seconds to answer, and then...
Yes, you have 10 seconds to answer. Okay, so the question is, you are presented with an envelope, that contains the exact date and time of your death. Do you open it or do you give it back? And tell us why.
I'll definitely open it.
I will. Okay.
I won't open it. I believe it's just important to know when I'm going to die so I can savor any moment. And I think that will kind of cure my fear. I know it sounds weird, but I think...
a lot of your fears.
Yeah, a lot of my fears. I think if I know when I'm going to die, I'll push harder. Because now I think I take things for granted quite a lot.
But don't you think you would be it's super miserable knowing it's okay, maybe Bati, you're gonna die. What if Bati, you're gonna die next week? What if the envelope says you're gonna die next week?
That's when I'm start digging in and enjoying my life. What difference does it make?
What's enjoying your life?
I'm gonna do all the things I've been afraid to do. I'm one of those very reserved person. I'm very reserved. So I'm very reserved. I'm sure you can see that about me. So I'll just do all the things I've been putting off. First of all, I'll party. I know that's not a good way to party, but I'm gonna die anyway.
So might as well.
Yeah, might as well. I can't really start a business when I'm dying.
Yeah,
I won't be there and have enough time. I'll take my car out for a drive, and I'm gonna speed. I'm gonna play with my car because I haven't been able to do that. I'm a safe driver. I wanna be safe.
So
I'll take my car out. Yeah, I'm gonna take my car out, have fun with her, spinning high. I'm just gonna do all this stuff that I wouldn't have done.
Rogue.
Yeah, I'm gonna go rogue. Yeah, I'm gonna go rogue.
Yeah.
But then if I have enough time, then I'm going to do the important stuff, Yeah,
because I was just thinking, wouldn't you by the time, maybe, tomorrow you're going to die, because they're not going to But the exact date and time, they didn't say how you're gonna die. Like the anxiety.
Oh, the anxiety. Oh my God, what if like someone's gonna cut my body parts out?
But to know ukuthi kusasa ngo-12 nyofa. Like what's gonna happen? Because what you're gonna do is like.
That's the thing. Like if I know the exact time that I'm gonna die, then I'm gonna be in my bed. Like I'll make sure if they say 12:30, by 12 o'clock I am in bed and just lying there so I don't die from something horrible like a accident or fire.
Because I'm thinking, to go wardrobe by that time. Go to whatever thing that's coming to fetch me is not gonna get me.
Yeah, but in wardrobe, anything can happen in the wardrobe. What if you die of like suffocation or something? Or something bad happens, but in your bed, you are safe. Like
what if boogeyman comes out?
Nah, there's no boogeyman. But I think I'd appreciate knowing when I'm gonna die, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm a very nervous person, so I feel knowing when I'm gonna die will kind of put things into perspective for me.
Honestly, same. I would open that damn envelope. Same time.
You would?
No questions asked. Yeah, how? Because then you know, you can plan accordingly. You can say your goodbyes.
Yeah.
That is such a horrible thing. So at least if ingazi, then I can say goodbye to you all. Even before I die.
And you could actually write a eulogy for me when I'm still here. Because I want to hear it.
Yeah, and to stars in our skies. What is that?
The fault in our stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That was a nice icebreaker, though.
Okay. Great. Thanks for engaging, my love. Okay, so what are your biggest fears like when it comes to love, relationships, marriage? Maybe you can like tell us about your fears with love specifically, and then marriage we can unpack it because it's a different like it's a different whole thing. It's like another level.
Oh, okay. My fears about love in particular is not finding someone who's gonna love me the way I want to be loved.
Yeah.
I mean, I fight with it daily, like the scarcity mindset that, you know what, you're gonna find someone who loves you the way you want to be loved. It's not really about not finding someone, but someone who matches my energy, who understands me fully, because I've got a lot of baggage, internally. I also struggle a lot with mental health sometimes. I also struggle with my physical health as well. So obviously being someone like that, I am kind of always worrying about like the men I find would be kind enough to understand my condition. I suffer from like severe IBS. I'm sure some of you can relate. So most people don't really understand that, especially in the Black community. So I do worry about that sometimes, that will I find someone who accepts me fully and will go on a journey with me to kind of, walk the journey with me basically to get me back there into like a healthy.
So how do you feel like you deal with that fear?
I'm very open about it. Like when I date someone, I'm very much open about it. I tell the person, listen here, dude, I'm a sick person. I don't identify as a sick person, but that's what I am right now. I struggle a lot with stomach issues. I'm just generally, I'm a premature baby, so I just struggle with a lot of health. So I tell them, you know what, dude, this is what you're gonna get with me, and I'm not talking about something that happens once in 6 months. I'm talking about something that can happen daily, and sometimes it can get so bad and very intense. You must be aware of that. So I just tell them, hear how they respond to the question, and just see how they act out on that situation. I'm very observant in the beginning when I date someone to see if I have an attack or a flare up. How is he going to take care of me? How is he going to react to the situation? And I feel that will kind of give me an idea.
Like it eases.
Yeah, it does. Because the last relationship that I had, that was abusive. When I told him that I wasn't feeling well because I had an attack while I was at his place, and I told him, hey, I'm struggling, like, you know how bad it can get. And I was on the floor crying, struggling with my stomach, and then I told him that I'm not feeling good. You know what he did? He put on his headphones and listened to music, and things like that would have just told me at that moment that this guy is not for you. This guy will never care for me, at least not in the way that I want to be cared about. And then my last relationship, I was fully cared for. He was very supportive. He took care of me when he needed to, never lost his patience. So I appreciated that, actually.
Okay, cool. And then with marriage, do you have like, maybe before we get into the marriage, because I know we're going to probably go on a little tangent a little bit. I think I can answer the question that I asked. I think it's the same thing. We all fear like, what if I don't find my person.
Yeah.
I think that's always like the biggest fear. Say like, okay, I believe in love so much, but like, am I going to be one of the lucky ones?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's definitely a fear because like I don't want to be single at 40. I don't wanna be single now.
She makes it clear. She makes it very clear. When I go like, Zizi, wait, you can find love. You're still young. She's like, I want it now.
I want it now, baby.
Annoying, honestly, but okay.
But I want it now. Ngenenjani? I want it now. But also, I'm like, I think how I deal with that fear of mine is I just always rely on the fact that I know like my reasoning behind what I want and what I want, like being a homemaker and all of these things. Like, yes, I want to be in love and I want to be like a mom and like a homemaker for like my own personal satisfaction.
Yeah.
Because I'm just human. I also want to be loved. I want to love and be loved.
Of course.
But it's also for the accomplishment of something that's greater than me. Like there's a bigger purpose behind my want for that. And I feel like there's no ways the universe doesn't give me my husband and my babies, because how else am I supposed to make a difference in this world? You know, like I just feel like it's so intertwined with my purpose that it's like I like there's no ways I don't get it.
Yeah, true.
That's how I just deal with the fear. I'm like, yeah, sure, because it's Mjolo is very disappointing. It can be very disappointing, but I'm just like,
Still believe in Mjolo.
I don't think God would like let me down like that. I don't think so. Because what else am I supposed to do with my life?
Leave it.
Yeah, but I need the husband and I need the kids.
You get that, right? I mean, but it's still a fear, even though there's that deep belief that you will find that.
Yeah, there's always going to be like that underlying fear, but it's not like a crippling fear.
Yeah,
so
and the disappointment doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah.
Because just when you believe, just when you are there to see that, okay, I'm gonna get the love of my life, boom, disappointment.
Yes. So there's that. And then with marriage, do you have fears about marriage specifically?
I do, actually.
Yes.
I think I have more fears than the regular person.
About marriage.
About marriage.
Go ahead.
Like, look, y'all, like, I'm going to say this because I don't know who can relate out there, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. The thing is about marriage, with me and marriage, I think I spent way too much time studying history for my own personal reasons.
Okay, yeah.
And then when I got to the side of patriarchy and why marriage was invented, I think I went down on a rabbit hole. I am still
history.
I'm still on the rabbit hole, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still there. I'm trying to dig myself out. And I'm just looking at marriage. I'm like, first of all, dowry, like oil bride price.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I look at the history of it, dowry and why it was paid, I'm like, why are we being paid to be in marriage? And they're like, no, it's a cultural thing. It's a compensation. I'm like, who created this culture? Because we didn't. Like, at least that's what I found out, because Africans did not create marriage. It was not a thing for us. It's something that was introduced to us. So I'm like, marriage on its own, when I look at the institution, but then again, it's something that I want for myself, to have a partner, somebody, you know, and I would like for that person to be my person. But like the institution of marriage, like it being inside the marriage, from what I see growing up as a young black woman in South Africa, I'm still looking for a happy marriage. I'm not looking for perfection, but I'm still looking for a happy marriage, you know, like something that convinces me that marriage is not all that bad. But every time I look at married people, I'm like, they look more miserable than me.
No, honestly, like real talk, like in real life, there are very few couples that that are married that I'm like, whoa, this is great. Most of them is just like,
questionable.
I mean, okay, if you guys are happy, then I'm happy for y'all. But the things that we are seeing, we see a lot. We see a lot. So of course there is like that fear.
Yeah, it's that fear.
So
for
like,
me.
what's like your actual fear about marriage specifically?
Being stagnant. And the fact that I get bored very easily. Like when I think about the idea of marriage, meanwhile I can love the person and they can treat me well, I'm just thinking the institution of marriage is also built the way humans at least have created marriage. It's more like you move in together, you stay in the same house, you sleep in the same bed, and it's like 10 years later, it's still the same old routine. You wake up, I wake up, we greet each other, we bathe in the same bath. It's like, that routine.
The repetition.
Yeah, the repetition.
You're afraid that you'll get bored of the...
Yeah, because I'm one of those people who get very irritated with routine. Like, if something is too routine for me, I just get overwhelmed. I don't know if it's ADHD or what, but I tend to lose my mind. And then also, I'm afraid of not just being bored, but also, what if it's just not for me, like the institution of marriage. Like, for example, I'm South African, so I know that these things happen. South African men have this expectation of wanting a woman to be in a specific way. You know, like I said, my studies with patriarchy, I'm like, they want you to clean for them. When you ask him, what do you want in a woman? He's like, I want someone who can have my children, someone who can cook for me, someone who can take care of me. I'm like, you're looking for a maid, and I'm not that type. That's the thing. Like, I'm not a domesticated person. When I look at wives and what they are doing, I'm like, that is definitely not me. Like, and then I don't mind the love.
You don't feel like you're like a traditional wife.
Yeah, I'm not a traditional wife, and I feel the whole institution would just get to me somehow, unless I meet someone whom we have an arrangement on how things work, and he understands me, I understand him, and he accepts this is who I am. I don't think I can do the typical traditional housewifey things. It's kind of scares me. Like, when I think about marriage, I'm thinking about something that will have me stuck in a routine I hate. Like, and I would go to resent it eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm dealing with it. Fear. I'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dealing with it. Convincing myself daily that maybe it's not so bad. Maybe the universe will give me someone who matches what I want.
Yeah. I think, like they always say, the right person, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, true. I believe in that. What about you?
Stuff. I don't know. I don't feel like I have any fears about marriage. I think maybe my only fear would be that the person that I'm with is not completely honest. I love honesty. Like, I just want it to be like as honest as it can get. I don't care if I'm uncomfortable. I don't care if he's uncomfortable. But we need to be honest and be mature enough to push to get through that. Okay. Whatever that looks like. So I just feel like because of that, I don't really fear anything, because I'm like, well, we'll be honest about everything. So I can't say I fear being cheated on, because we'll talk about it. You know, like, I don't fear, I don't know. I'm just a girl. Hopeless romantic.
Okay.
Just a hopeless romantic, yeah.
Maybe your energy will rub off on you.
Yeah, take some.
Yeah, let me take some. I'm taking some positive marriage vibes, guys.
Okay, well, let's move on to the second batch of the episode, which is, like I said, I did want us to go a little deeper into, like, the fear of failure. I wanted us to, like, draw on our past experience first and foremost, like, what have been, like, the fear of failure. When have you felt it? You know, like, maybe go back in time to tell us, like, where have you felt like a deep sense of fear of failure and how you overcame it in that particular time. And then also I want us to talk about, like, fear of failure pertaining ourselves and the journeys that we are in now, starting this podcast, you with your TikTok and all of these things, and how other people as well. After that, we'll talk about how other people are so crippled by a fear of failure, and, like, just sort of, like, give our perspective on how other people are sort of handling the entire thing, right?
All right.
Yeah, so can you think about, like, any experience where you, like, you had to do something but you were so afraid to do it, but then you did do it, or you didn't do it, like, any...
Oh, that's basically my whole life. Literally, like, when you say, like, one moment, of course I'll give you examples, but I just feel like I wasn't as fearful in my younger years, I can say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was more confident. I think, like, you know, ignorance is bliss. I was a bit more ignorant, so I wasn't as aware of things, so I was more brave. Yeah, I wasn't aware of reality. But going back to 2017, when we started Missing Hlanzeni, it was, I wasn't as scared, but I think I was just scared of the actual event, like what's gonna happen. I would have sleepless nights by then, because I was thinking, are we gonna get sponsors? Is Mercedes gonna respond? You know, I was still in my delulu state. So
wait, just background for people that don't know us or whatever. We did have a pageant in 2017. It was It was called Misehlanzeni.
Yeah.
And we ran it for like 3 years, and then we gave it up. We'll have like a whole story time for Misehlanzeni, but I just wanted to give them like a bit of context. Yeah, you can continue.
All right, thank you for that. So yeah, I was still scared about Misehlanzeni, the actual event itself, the money, where was it gonna come from? It was very crippling, but I just pushed ahead and we continued doing it anyway. Yeah, and then. When else did I feel scared?
It was a failure.
It was a failure.
Mind you. So the fear of failure was real because...
Yeah.
Low-key, it failed. Like...
It did.
Like, the event itself was successful. And, like, as far as, like... I mean, it's the first event. Yeah. But, like, monetary-wise...
Yeah, it was a failure. The first time and the second time. So yeah. I was kind of scared of that. And then, as I grew older, starting from the time I started working, I was okay then. And then when I started my first real job at Barberton Primary... I was really scared about what might happen, you know, being in a new environment, being a teacher. I was really terrified about the whole experience, but I think I got past that because I genuinely love the kids, so they kind of guide me in that failure. But my biggest failure mostly is to put myself out there. You know, I've always been one of those people, you know, I want to be a speaker. I'm very confident in front of people, you know, I can speak in front of thousands and I'm having the time of my life. But then I realized I couldn't translate that into a camera or somewhere where I'm not around people. I think I'll get very nervous and I don't know, like it was just a weird thing for me. So I still have that fear even now, like putting myself out there really to be seen somehow. And I also kind of fear to make conversations with people I don't know. Like for me it's like crippling. I watch her and how she's good with people and I'm like, why can't I be that good? Like when someone speaks to me, I'm already nervous, I'm already sweating, I don't know what's happening and I just feel like I don't like them or something. Even if I do like them, it's like I don't know what to say. When I had to ask for directions, it will take me a good 5 minutes before I get on myself just to ask for directions. Like it's just one of those things where I'm approaching people, trying to make friends, putting myself out there. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm shy or there's a deep, I don't know, like something deeper. I don't know, I'm a psychologist, but I think there's just something in me that says, I'm not scared to be by myself or with you or with people that I'm close to, but I really feel for where I need to be, I need to get myself out there and I'm struggling like to be okay and comfortable with that, I think. Yeah. That's like my biggest fear. I'm still dealing with it. I don't really have tips on how to deal with it right now. It's just something that I'm like, you know what, if I fear something, let me do it. If I fear to make a TikTok video, let me just make it anyway. Even if I screw it up, it's fine. I'm gonna learn. I'm just like pushing myself to do something. And the last one is learning a new skill. She knows we've had this conversation in depth where I know I've got ADHD, so if you can relate. So focusing on one thing is like not easy. It's your brain just goes all over the place. It's like you just don't know what's happening. So I can take interest in something, lose interest, take interest in something, lose interest. So I've had so many talents that I feel had I actually invested in them, like writing, I could have invested more in the nail business. There's just so many things. The hair, I'm very good with hair, but for some reason I never developed that skill because I got bored and I was scared. So when I start something new and okay, it's going well, maybe I do it for the first 3 times. Apart from being bored, the fear kicks in. Would I really be able to do this at the end of it all? And then that's when I quit because it's like, oh, well, what's the point? And I just convince myself why I quit. I come up with the most perfect excuse as to why I can't do it. And I just didn't realize it was mostly fear-based, you know.
Yeah, but you realize that now.
Yeah, I do.
I think a lot of people can definitely relate to what you're saying, like specifically about like when you start something and then the fear just kicks in and goes to you. What if I'm corny, really? Yeah. So you're just like, at least if you leave it halfway through, really, serious now, so it's fine, you know, like you convince yourself that like quitting is okay, which sometimes it is okay. Yeah. But, you know, I think the whole reason why I wanted us to talk about fears specifically is just to like share our experience with fear and like how we've overcame it, so that other people can know that, like, you know, like real life things, like the fear of failure is valid because things do fail, but I think it's important how you like deal with that. It's like it's important to know how to deal with when your fear of failure actually becomes a reality. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily, you know what to do after that. So I've seen also how people like Ngatin, you know, we have that cousin of ours, and she, he, whatever,
they.
Gender, okay, they. We have a cousin who is like so good with cooking and stuff, but like they do not wanna like do it and actually like do it. That time Lumundu is unemployed and stuff, and I just think like they really struggle with the fear of failure, and I think that's literally the only reason holding them back.
It is.
And it really makes me sad personally, because it's like at the end of the day, Vela, you have to do it. Like I'll draw onto my experience with the makeup thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I started offering services for makeup in 2020, and I literally had 2 clients that year, literally 2 clients. And the next year, when the next year started, I was like, no, I'm quitting this thing. It's not working. It's been a year. I've only ever booked 2 clients. Doesn't make sense. The only thing I'll do is I'll take clients labangatigo already, just in the makeup products and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I was done. I was just like, no, I'm not doing this thing anymore. It's not worth my time. And then, lucky enough, I did get like a few more clients. It still wasn't a lot. It was like less than 10 clients the following year. And like, it would have been easy for me to just like quit for sure. Yeah. And as much as I was like, I did want to quit, I think I honestly have God to thank, because then I did get more clients. And in my head, like it got to a point where I couldn't quit, because it was like the clients are coming in, and I said I will take them for as long as I have this product, and angapela, then I leave it.
Yeah.
But then they were coming in so peli consider, then I find myself saying and then now I find myself, you know, after 2020 a lot of people wanted to start like small businesses.
Yeah.
So a lot of makeup artists started budding up, and at the time I'm the best like around my area. Hi, ngacala bona other makeup artists like sebayenda kahle. So the Mona in me and the me inside me that's like I'm better than everybody. I asked my mom to pay for makeup classes, and she did, and I improved my skill. And from there, like literally every single year, the testimony is that every single year I grew over 100%. Because as much as like maybe the number is small, more would say 2 clients in 1 year, and then the next year maybe less than 10 clients, the number is small when you look at like in perspective of like the whole year. But then when you look at it on the perspective of, say, from 2 clients to 10 clients, that's 400% growth or something.
It is.
So, and the next year again, like it keeps on happening. Like literally each year I have more and more clients. And had I stuck to like quitting, or have never even bothered to advertise my makeup, what, then I wouldn't even be here now.
Exactly.
And people, what I'm trying to draw on is that like people fear getting the 5 clients, the 2 clients the whole year, and then they just leave it, instead of like just continue, like trust and believe it will happen. It will happen.
And it's happening now.
And it's happening. And even with us, like with the podcast, Sanjay, like it would be easy for us to be like, Kutsivile, me and you are doing it for our own, like our own bookkeeping, archives, whatever. But also like with the podcast, like maybe it's gonna get 1 or 2 views, but I firmly believe like in 10 years, I'm that Dululu, because in 10 years, I'm sure this video will have like thousands of views.
Same.
You know, I think also para being Dululu. Ooh, battery so we'll just wrap it up now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just think like in general with fear, people being Dululu basically is the advice for today. Like just besides being Dululu, just do it. Just do it. Like, yes, it's gonna be embarrassing.
Yeah, at first. Be okay with being embarrassed.
Yeah, that's the first step. That's the first thing, because it will get embarrassing.
It does.
You will be embarrassed. You will enter competitions and you won't win, and everybody will ask you, hey, how did that competition go? And you'll be like, I didn't win. It's embarrassing. But do it.
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway. How many clients did you book today? How many views did you get? 1. It's embarrassing, but like, do it anyways. Like, one thing for sure, it will work out.
Exactly.
Like one thing for sure, it will work out. Okay, do you have like some grand advice or whatever, just like last words about the topic for today and what you want people to know?
Okay, guys,
or hear from you.
This is what works for me, and I'm gonna apply it, and I want you guys to also go on a journey to apply it with me. When it comes to fear, you need to really, I'm gonna say it as a teacher, you need to find the root causes of the fear, because sometimes I think it's really easy to say I'm just fearful, that's it, but you need to find the root causes of that particular fear. Why, when as that particular person, do you fear to like get out there? I had to find out why I was so afraid of the camera, and it had something to do with validation, where if I'm around people physically, I feel more validated. But if it's just me and the camera, there's no validation, so I kind of get into a shell. You know, like, so you must kind of know like the root causes of that fear, because sometimes it might be how you grew up. It could be growing up with someone who's like a consistent negative in your life. Why are you doing this? Why don't you just stay at your job? Why are you creating a YouTube video? Why are you doing all that? Why makeup? There's many makeup artists, you're not the only one. Like, if you also surround yourself with negativity, it's easy for the fear to keep building up.
True.
Yeah, you know, so we must know the psychological triggers and the reasons why we are so fearful of things. And I feel like once you go through that a process of finding out the why, I feel that's where you find your answers.
Yeah, I feel like you're definitely on the bag with that one, because if you don't know why you have the fears, then how are you gonna deal with them?
Exactly.
If you don't know your triggers and stuff, and like adding on to what you're saying, it like you're so real about it. Even your environment, which is, I do want to make an episode sometime where we do talk about how like environment actually is so important, and like the things you surround yourself with, sometimes they can add on to your fears. So you need to be aware of that as well before you start things, or before you sleep on yourself and you find yourself at 60 never having tried. Yeah, you don't, like, as I was saying, you don't want to find yourself at 60 having like not done anything, just because you continue to like put yourself in this spaces and situations that like validate your fears, basically, right? And I wanted to like go back a little bit to the example I made about the cousin who can cook and stuff, and they did try to like build up their cooking profile or whatever on Instagram. And like they're no longer doing that, and like you ask yourself why. And for me, if I had to like analyze the situation, I'd say it's really because of they continue to surround themselves with like content that validates their fears. They don't really watch a lot of good TV.
I agree with that one.
They don't hang out with people that are like very like, let's do something. Oh, I actually forgot to tell you about like how at Nwanda's party there was like a point and moment in time where we were talking about like businesses and stuff, and basically complainer Gusi, she doesn't answer. I remember the girl that wrong to Boma jackets or something like that.
No,
you don't remember. So like she I got penduli my text and stuff like that. So and stuff, and we were just saying, because Zama, me and Nwanda and I, we all have like some sort of business. So we literally had like a conversation where we were like, no, Sikla, you need to do better. And she was just telling us as well. I also found out, this is just for me and you, it doesn't have to do with the topic, but I also found out, because once your business kind of blows up, she mentioned, if like it kind of blows up on TikTok, the amount of traffic that happens in your WhatsApp, like, hey, hello, can you send me pictures of this? Can you, hey, hello, a day. So it's like, and you're just one person. Ngalana, she actually like
has to use her hands.
Yes, and she's just one person. So she was just saying that, Kuti, that's the reason why sometimes she can't get back to clients and stuff. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because I'm saying I was like surrounded in an environment where, like, even if you had fears to like post your business and stuff, like we were like, yo, post that, you know, like it was such a cultivating environment in that moment to say like, we are separating is my girls, but like there was a moment where we were like all just saying like validating the good, see, it's okay to post, no more told my views, but post your stuff. And a lot of people don't find themselves in those environments. Instead, they find themselves in environments that like perpetuate
their
fears and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the conclusion of today's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed, and
don't be fearful.
Don't be fearful. Do a deep dive into your fears and the things that trigger your fears, and just try to surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
That will, encourage you and stuff, and consume good content.
Consume good content. That is the most important thing.
Consume not really a podcast.
Yeah. We're going to help you get through the fear together.
Yeah, let's do it together. But no, for real, like, the consuming good content is a real thing. Yeah.
It is.
You might find some inspiration here and there. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.